Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm currently sitting in Ed. I'm going to try a different series of videos to what I've been doing. I'll still be doing Eleanor and I'll still be doing everything I normally do, but I want to do this as well. So basically, I'm going to try and get to the Thistle Run, which is a Scottish mini event where mini enthusiasts meet up in their minis, have a drive, and then a meet at the other end. And it's about roughly about 130-mile round trip. So I basically want to make sure everything's fine with Ed. So just general service stuff, upgrading bushes, etc., bits and pieces. So in this series of videos, I thought I would basically cover all the service videos from the start, from basically simple things like weekly checks to 3 monthly checks to 6 monthly checks to yearly checks, and you get the picture. So I'm going to try and break it down, starting from the easiest to working the way up and covering everything I can. And what I'm going to be using or basing it on, so that anyone else can reference it out there, is we've all seen this, the Bible. And I've also got an older one as well, which is quite good. It has pictures in it if you get bored of reading text all the time. So yeah, I'm going to be using them as references. Obviously there's going to be some minor differences because there's different ages of Mini, there's carburetor models, injection models, there's different styles of suspension, you know, all that sort of stuff. So Ed's obviously an SPI model, single point injection, so that's kind of what I'm going to be basing the service videos on. So there'll be slight differences depending on the model, and there'll be some stuff I don't cover that I'll cover in the future when I get an older Mini, because that's the goal. I want a Mark 1. I'd love a Mark 1 at some point. So let's get started on these videos. I'm going to start with the weeklies and work my way up. Some of you will know I've got a Facebook group as well for the channel, so it's www.facebook.com/groups/DB Mini DIY. The reason I set that up was just to give regular updates between videos, but more importantly, it's somewhere all the Mini guys can go and ask questions, discuss things amongst each other, and also show me your projects, because I like making these videos, but I love watching other people's projects, and the Mini community is so great, it really is. So if you've not joined that group or checked that group out, why not? What are you waiting for? All jokes aside though, yeah, have a look, because there's a good bunch of people on there. One of the guys that's been on from the very start, Graham, has just started his. Well, he's been doing a restoration project for years. It's nearly come to an end, but he's just started another one, and he's going to do a YouTube video based on this, based on the restoration of it. So go and check him out, because he's a really decent guy and it'll be a good restoration project to follow. I'll put a link in the description, but go and check him out and give him a subscribe, and that's another good one for all you guys to watch. Right, checking the engine oil. It's one of the most important things you can do for the engine. If it runs dry, the engine seizes up, so it's an early indication. It's very simple, very straightforward. The carbs run up to temperature for the other systems to check, but to check the oil you need to wait till the oil's levelled in the sump. So the car's been left for a wee while before I've checked it, or you can check it when it's cold. And it's also important that the car's on level ground, so it gives an accurate reading. This sump dipstick is so tacky. It wasn't mine. It was here when I got the car. It will be getting changed to one I like. So when I take it out the first time, I just give it a wipe and I ignore the reading, because it's never too accurate. It's the second and third couple of times, so just make sure it's pressed all the way down, so that you can see clear reading there, just below the maximum. Smaller mark there is the minimum. You want the oil to be sitting as close to the maximum as you can, but in any case below the 2. Anything below here, dangerous for the engine. The vital components will not be getting oil. Anything above here you could then risk damaging the top half of the engine, so it has to be below here, between here. And it's important to get the correct grade of oil for the engine as well. But I'll cover all that when I do a full oil change in the later videos. So that's as long as that takes for the oil. Right, checking the brake fluid levels. It varies in each different car because different master cylinders depend on the age of the car and the mark of the car. So this is the later one with the brake servo on it. The earlier cars will have the one down next to the clutch master cylinder here, but they'll all have this cap on, so you can just disconnect the wire in. And just be careful not to spill it. You can see it's not the clearest here, but the level's sitting about here, which is fine. So having a look in the cap, you can see where the level is there, but it's pretty dark. You can't see it on the gloves, but it should be a lot cleaner than that. So I will be changing the brake fluid on this car because I don't know when it was last done. So the clutch master cylinder, which is sitting on the cross member here, it's not very accessible on the SPI because of the air filter housing. So just to get a good look at that, there's only 3 screws to take this off. Doesn't have to come all the way off, it can just sit to the side. And there's obviously wiring looms and all this in the way as well, but so you can either get them with a light or you can just use your finger. Obviously gloves because you don't want to be touching brake fluid as it's bad for your skin. That's slightly low, so what I'm going to do is just top that up a little bit. So the clutch is hydraulic on Minis. It uses the same .4 fluid as the brake fluid. It's just the .4 stuff I've got here. This is like the brakes, it's in a sealed system, so if the fluid level's dropping, then that indicates there's a leak somewhere, and you'll need to check. Again, we'll cover that in later videos because I'm going to go into that a bit more detail, but this fluid should not drop, so the fact to top it up indicates there's a slight leak somewhere. So once that's topped up, just put that back on. Just being careful not to get any dirt in because there's dirt sitting on the top of the reservoir here. And then it's just a case of refitting the air filter. The cooling system, just check levels on that. I noticed when I was checking with the engine running earlier on, I had a slight seep from the thermostat here, the gasket, so that'll be getting changed later on. but for the purposes of the weekly checks, it's just a case of undoing the cap and checking the top. Wait till the engine's cooled down, because when it's hot, the pressure builds up in the system, and there's a chance when you, well, there's not a chance, it will when you open this, water and steam will come out and it'll burn you. I always take precautions with the towel anyway, but it is cooled enough now to safely allow me to check it. So you can normally see into the radiator. It's a fairly new radiator, this. There's grills just the top there. The water level should come to the grill there, which is just basically underneath the filler neck. So if you're not sure, just put a bit of antifreeze in and see where it fills up to. I'm going to fill some in, just given that there's some seepage, just till I'm happy that it comes up to the area where I can see it. Don't fill it to the top, because it'll just end up, there's pressure in the system coming out of the water flow, and it'll end up running down the side of your wheel arch here onto the roadway. Right, I've topped that up with the antifreeze mix. When you put the cap on, just make sure it's seated correctly, because it is a pressurised system, it needs to be, so push it down and turn. There we go. And that's the water system check. Right, the screen washer fluid, make sure that's topped up, because you'll need it for clearing the windows, especially this time of year here where there's salt and grit and everything on the roads. In cars up to 1991, it would be sitting here hooked on the bracket at the side here. Because this is an injection model, there's no room in the engine bay for it, so they decided to move it to the boot. So this is my tank in here, and we can see the levels high enough for my liking just now. You know, I could have topped that up a slight bit, but because I've got all this rubbish in the boot just now, that's fine for what I need it just now. Right, check the wiper blades, just to make sure they're not fraying at the end, or there's no bits of rubber missing off. These are fairly new, so they should be okay. These will fail an MOT, and I think these ones I got were about £4. It's usually this end here where they start to go, but just for the sake of them, when these need to come off, you know, it's a push fit here, push on. It's a 30-second job and a cheap fix. So yep, just a quick check of the window wipers, and needless to say, as most of you know, there's no rear wiper on, not as standard anyway. Right, the lights. If you can get someone to help you and just check all the lights, the main beam, the dipped beam, fog lights, indicators, brake lights, reverse light. At this time of year, again here or anywhere when it's winter or cold, the bulbs are prone to blowing because of the moisture and the temperature, so just go around each one of them checking that they're all working. Right, into the boot, just a check of the battery. The Mini runs, like most cars, off a 12 volt battery, so this is just your multimeter. And what I'm looking at when I touch the the positive and the negative to the negative of the earth is about 12.6, 12.7 volts. So what I'm getting there is 12.2. So it's a bit low. It's probably because the car's sat for a wee while before I run it. So I'll keep an eye on that. It normally lasts about 3 to 5 years depending on the battery you get. But when you start the car up and do that same measurement, the alternator kicks in, so you should be getting 14.6-ish. So we'll start the car up and see what results we're getting then. So we're sitting on 14, so the alternator is working, but like I say, maybe the battery will be due a replacement soon. I'll check it again once the car's had a good run to see how it's sitting then, but at the end of the day batteries are straightforward enough to change. So once you've checked the condition of it, just have a very visual look at the terminals to see if there's any corrosion. These, as you'll see, are new terminals I put on fairly recently and they're in good condition. So just check the wires, obviously are tight on. This is missing a battery strap, so that is one thing I need to source. But yep, that's fine at the moment. I'll keep an eye on that voltage, but that's what you're looking for. Once you've checked the pressures and inflated them or deflated them if you need to, you then check the wear and the tread on the tyre. My two front tyres are new and the back ones are fairly new as well. So what you're checking for is that they're above the legal limit, which in the UK is 1.6 millimetres. You can get gauges to check that. You get a lot of tyres that have got wear markers that go in these sections here. What I will do is I'll put some pictures up of some tyres showing different types of wear, because the type of wear in a tyre tells you a story about the car and what fault it might have or what it needs done. So yeah, I'll put one of that on. That should hopefully be helpful. But just keep an eye on these tyres, because they're as important as brakes. You know, if the tyre goes or if you're not getting grip, you know, it can be catastrophic. So there you have it, the weekly checks. Doesn't take long, and they are important. They do get neglected, and then they'll get checked when there's a fault or something happens. So, yep, if you love your Mini, which I know most of you do, or your classic car, yeah, get them checked as often as you can. If you look after your Mini will look after you. So hopefully you got some use out of that. They're fairly basic things for the weekly checks. As I do more videos on this series, I'll cover a bit more complicated things and some straightforward things. I'll just put everything in, and then if you know how to do it, that's fine. If you don't know how to do it, hopefully you can learn something from what I'm doing, which is the whole point anyway, having fun and learning and hoping someone else can learn from something. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you like. If you've not subscribed, subscribe. And if you like general mini chat and talking about your own projects or other people's projects, go on Facebook and look at the DB Mini DIY group, and you can join that and get chatting about minis. That's what it's all about. So yep, take care, and I'll see you on the next video when I'll be looking at the 3 monthly checks and up to the 6 months. Okay, take care, bye.